Mr. Washington is a busy boy here. Obviously, he's got multiple charges that are against him from two different dates. I guess the easiest way is to go chronological order. So, August 6th, 2019, at McCarthy Park in the city of Buffalo, there are a bunch of kids who are hanging out in the park. Some type of altercation occurs. Jason Washington allegedly pulls out a gun. He fires 8 shots into this group of kids. 7 miss, and 1 hit one of the kids in the ankle and basically shattered his ankle. So on that incident right there, he's charged with 1 count of assault in the first degree and the illegal weapons charge, the gun charge. So he's facing 25 years on that charge right there. He was not arrested right away. The Buffalo Police Department did a good investigation, and they developed him as a suspect. Some month or so later, he was actually arrested on that about a month ago in early October. He was arraigned on those charges over in Buffalo City Court. It was scheduled for a felony hearing. We put that case in the grand jury before the felony hearing date. He was then indicted by the grand jury, reported out, and then arraigned again on the indictment on that today. So that's the logistical order of that case right there. Some 3 weeks later, after August 6th, on August 31st, there is a youth football game for kids 13 and under at Emerson Park in the city of Buffalo. After the game is over, about 7 o'clock roughly p.m., all the people are walking from the football field to the parking lot. There is another field that's in the middle there. So this incident occurred not on the football field itself, but on the field next to the football field, a regular field between the football field and the parking lot. The first thing that happened was 2 guys, one-on-one, get into a fist fight. Mr. Jason Washington walks over to that one-on-one fist fight. The gentleman who is getting the worst of that fist fight is a buddy of Jason Washington's. So Jason Washington walks over and he allegedly puts a gun to the head of the guy who's beating his buddy up, getting the better of his buddy, and pulls the trigger, and it doesn't go off. One of the football coaches, 36-year-old Norzell Aldridge, he sees Washington trying to shoot the guy who's beating his buddy up, and the football coach now intervenes in that. And the football coach is holding a football helmet on his head, and he swings it at him to try to stop him from shooting. Believe he hits him in the head with it, and then hits Jason Washington in the head, and then Jason Washington turns, and this time the gun works. It doesn't misfire, and he shoots Mr. Aldridge and kills him. And so he is charged with 1 count of attempted murder, of pulling the gun and misfiring at the guy beating his buddy up. So I charged him with attempted murder on that one, all right? And then I charged him with the murder of Mr. Aldridge, along with a weapons charge as well. So he's facing 25 years to life on the homicide of Mr. Aldridge. He's facing 25 years on the attempted murder. And again, even though it happened kind of at the same time, they are technically two different transactions, so I can have them run consecutively. So 25 to life on a murder, 25 straight up on the attempted murder, and then also 25 straight up on the incident that happened on August 6th. So at the end of the day, he's looking at 75 years of life. Any questions?
Obviously, this is a devastating thing for Aldridge and his family. I mean, this is a coach who was just trying to intervene based on what you're saying here, and his life was taken senselessly.
Awful. Here's a guy who was he was a football coach. He was a football coach in the inner city, trying to help inner city kids stay off the street. At the end of the day, you know, there are a lot of football coaches, youth football coaches in this county. There are football coaches that coach me in East Aurora. There are football coaches that coach my kids in Tonawanda. And then there are football coaches who coach kids in the inner city. I didn't have to worry about in East Aurora playing youth football not being on the right path as far as getting involved with gangs in East Aurora. My kids, fortunately, didn't have to worry about getting on a path of becoming a gang member in Tonawanda. But these kids right here, who Mr. Aldridge is coaching, all right, have unique needs. They have neighborhoods that are not the neighborhoods that I grew up in East Aurora. They are not neighborhoods that my kids grew up in Tonawanda. They are neighborhoods where a youth coach has a added element to their life. And we got a 36-year-old man here who is giving back to the community, helping these kids out, keeping these kids off the street, and trying to intervene. He's trying to basically save someone's life. Literally. The only thing that saved the guy who got in the fight one-on-one initially was the fact that Washington's gun misfired. Allegedly misfired. And not only is he trying to help the kids out by being a coach, he's trying to help save a life, literally here now, and he loses his life. It's an awful situation. It's a tragic thing. Jason Washington is only a 17-year-old kid. Now, if this would have occurred a month and a half later, we would have had a whole different dynamic today, because if you recall, 17-year-olds starting on October 1st are under the new raise the age law. And so while at the end of the day, I would have been able to keep this case, I would have had to jump through hoops to keep the case. I would have had to go to family court in front of Judge Carter and make the application to Judge Carter that this is a murder, I should keep the case. I don't doubt I would have been able to keep the case, all right? That's not the issue here, but I would have had to jump through hoops in order to keep the case. But even though we're arraigning him and indicting him after October 1st, it doesn't matter. The incident happened in August. And so it happened before raise the age kicked in place, so that's why he immediately comes to adult court. And he should come to adult court. This, like I said, I recognize he's 17 years old. I recognize, you know, that the raise the age law was put in place so that we would not treat 17-year-olds as an adult, but there are some exceptions to that rule. Mr. Washington is an exception to that rule. He is doing things, he is acting like an adult. He is committing big boy crimes here, allegedly, and he deserves to be tried in big boy court, which he now is.
That decision, I mean, obviously you aren't treating him lightly, treating any of this lightly, but how did that decision come about to be able to, or the decision to actually make that?
Well, because the date. So in reality, I didn't have a decision to make, because the date of the incident was in August, and so it was before October 1st. So the date of the incident, occurring, is a date that governs here, so it's not even under the raise the age law. If it would have, like I said, if it would have been a month and a half later, then I would have had to make an argument to the judge, to the family court judge, Judge Carter, who now, as of October 1st, is seeing all 16 and 17-year-olds, and say to Judge Carter, hey, Judge, this qualifies under a case that I can keep. Again, I didn't need to make that argument because the shooting happened on August 31st.
Would you have had a problem with the case this severe though, with how much this?
Oh no! Again, at the end of the day, I wouldn't have had a problem. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm confident that I would have been able to keep the case anyway. But again, it was just fortunate I didn't have to go through that, go through those hoops and do that.
Jason Washington from Buffalo, or where's he from? You know?
From Buffalo, yeah. Oh, I don't know where he's born. I mean, he's from here. Lives here now. Yeah.
Did you guys? Do you think he used the same weapon in both crimes?
Off the top of my head, Aaron, I don't know that, but yeah, but I can find that. I'm not, even if I find that, I'm not sure I can give it to you.
Do you know if weapons were recovered in either case?
That I don't know off the top of my head either.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can find that out for you.
John, when was he arrested?
On the first one, he was arrested in early October.
Okay.
So he on the murder, he wasn't arrested. On the murder, we put directly in the grand jury.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the murder charge, yeah. So on the murder, just so we're clarify here, on the murder charge, I put that directly in the grand jury, got an indictment on the murder charge, and then he was a sealed indictment, and then he was arraigned this morning on that.
Were you able to pin the murder and attempted murder charges on him just basically through all the testimony or not the testimony, but the statements made by the people who were at the scene saying, yeah, it was Jason Washington? Was that essentially how you were able to pin it on him?
Well, I don't want to give you all my evidence before I go to trial, but I can say this: there were a lot of people who were around the scene here. All right, there was, like I said before, there was initially a one-on-one fight between two guys. And then Jason Washington intervened in that one-on-one fight. Then Mr. Aldridge then intervened on top of that. So that one-on-one fight turned into 4 people being involved. Beside the 4 people who were involved in that fight, initial one-on-one fight, there were numerous other people, including kids, football player kids who just got done playing football, all right, who were in the general vicinity, who were basically walking back from the field to the parking lot. So there were a lot of people that we talked to. I'll leave it at that.
Has he been in custody since the arrest for the August 6th shooting?
Yes. So when he got arrested in early October for the August 6th shooting, he was arraigned on that charge and he was held in that charge. So he's been in custody for the past month.
In court, he had his lawyer said he couldn't sign a piece of paper because he had an injury to his right hand. It looked like he may have had some kind of splint or something around his fingers. Do you know what his injury is by chance?
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know if he got that in this fight here or if he got that in the holding center. He might have gotten the holding center. I don't know. Yeah.